evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Mahoning Drive-In Theater, the largest single-screen drive-in in the United States. We're certainly glad you could be with us this evening. And don't forget, the concession stand is open with all kinds of great things to eat and drink.
89.3 Mahoning Drive-In Radio. It's your old friend Virgil back once again with our special edition episodes, welcoming people to get to know the crew behind the magic at the Mahoning Drive-In Theater. And today we have a very, very special guest, the longest running employee at the Mahoning Drive-In Theater, and somebody who I will always refer to as the queen of the Mahoning Drive-In Theater. Welcome, Jessica. How are you, Jess?
Hello. So exciting.
Well, it's great to have you. It's when we started the idea of doing the podcast and having this be kind of the intro, I was so excited because, you know, the success of the documentary and all that stuff and the explosion of the popularity of the Mahoning Drive-In Theater, you really got to see it all and experience it all. And your part in the documentary is very small. So it'll be great for people to get to know a little more about you. So that kind of starts this thing off and running. How did you come to know of the Mahoning Drive-In Theater? What was your first kind of introduction to the Mahoning?
My first introduction, well, growing up, my family and I went there when me and my sister were kids. And then obviously as I got older and I could drive, I would go with my friends. And we have always lived so close. So that was another thing that was really cool to have it literally basically in our backyard. And then my sophomore year of high school, my friend Sarah worked there at the drive-in. And she suggested I go and interview and to see if I can get a job, and I did. So it's been since after sophomore year of high school. So
that's crazy. How many seasons now have you been consistently at the Mahoning?
The 2021 season will be my 12th season.
Amazing. So you really did get to see things grow. When you were a kid and you went there, what was your memories? What was your experience like as a youngster?
I just remember it being super cool that I could literally be outside and sit on a blanket and watch a movie on the big screen and have the radios going and have other people around. That was probably, it just seemed so exciting, you know? You get to watch a movie outside instead of being indoors.
Yeah, for a kid, it really is special. That's when I fell in love with it, as you know. It's the experience, the atmosphere, the sounds, the smells, all of it really do lend to a youth, especially a youth who's kind of impressionable about their movie-going experiences and things like that. When you go to a very sterile movie-going experience at a big box theater, a darkened theater, versus a drive-in as a kid, you're like, is there a comparison? I don't think so, you know?
Yes.
Well, that's awesome. So why don't we get into, your role as an employee at the Mahoning Drive-In Theater? Was it Jeff who hired you, or you worked under previous management and then Jeff took over?
I worked under previous management and then Jeff took over.
Okay, so what was your experience as far as when Jeff came in, when Jeff became the manager, and how that dynamic kind of started between you and Jeff, and what your guys' relationship now is legendarily kind of a father-daughter situation?
Jeff and I hit it off really well right away. I was the one who ended up staying with the transition in management, and, we just worked well together. It was definitely different to see the struggle with the business and not doing as well, and not being as busy at first until you came in and obviously helped transition that around. So that was probably the hardest part, was to see such a drastic change, but now I'm still here and look at how far we've come. So it's just amazing.
It really is. It's incredible to see. I was going back in one of the chats and saying the first time I met Jeff, they were playing one of the Transformers movies, and I think Planes 2. And when somebody meets Jeff, it's hard not to fall in love with him right away. He just has that heart and presence about him. certainly when I came into the fold, the first thing that Jeff said is, we want to retain all of the staff that we have, as many people that are willing to take this step and this risk really with us. We're going to try to keep them as part of the family. And you saw it. Pretty much everybody fell to the wayside besides you. And it really showed how important you were as far as your commitment to the theater, your commitment to wanting to see it succeed over having it be what it was at that time, which was, just a casual job, it seemed like, for people.
Yeah.
So it's been incredible. Now, what is your experience with watching the theater kind of take off since 2015 when we went full retro to what we're doing now with like having Hollywood stars there and all that type of stuff?
Oh my gosh, it's amazing. It's amazing because it was really heartbreaking to see like it not doing as well, and it was good movies, but I guess we were showing the same movies as everyone else. We're lucky to have so many other drive-in theaters near us locally.
Yes.
So which is crazy because there's not that many around anymore, unfortunately. So now, like, to see it sell out and to see, like, cars lined all the way down, like, to the marquee, it's just, I'd always hoped it would get to that point. So it's just, like, amazing.
Yeah, it's crazy. And as you know, that 2014 season when we first came in, I would think that was probably the worst case scenario for the drive-in, where the locals had kind of forgotten about it. The people weren't traveling in to embrace it. And even as somebody who is such a drive-in fan like ourselves, it's like the Mahoning kind of was this secret, everybody knew about Becky's or Shanks, but the Mahoning was never kind of brought up or gotten love. So the kind of revival that we've been able to do, I think really sticks hard with people who saw, like yourself, where it was to where we're at now. So as far as your memories growing up, things like that, obviously everybody has their favorite memories as a kid, but now that you're behind the curtain, what are your favorite memories of some of the most recent events that we did and past years in the new partnership?
Oh, where to start?
I know. It's funny. Everybody we ask, they're like, well, every weekend's insane.
Yes. I would definitely say when we did Gremlins and we had Zach Galligan, I was in love. Oh my God, he was the sweetest person ever. So I really enjoyed that weekend. He was just so nice, and I really liked that he took time to answer everyone's questions. And I went up to him after, like, obviously customers went up, and I just was having a general conversation with them, and it was just really sweet. And I enjoyed that he took the time and actually was like attentive to me. So that was really cool.
Yeah, he was the best, for sure.
He was awesome.
So as far as the programming goes, you have kind of, as we welcome kind of everybody to, tossed out a couple of great ideas. And last year you had a home run idea. Do you want to go into your massive suggestion, which ended up being a sellout weekend?
Mean Girls and Clueless, and man, was I pumped over that sellout. I was so excited. And James did awesome. James and whoever else helped, I'm sorry, I don't remember everyone's names, did an awesome job with the setup. And it was so amazing. And I was so happy just to sit on the lot to hear on October 3rd. He asked me what day it is. It's October 3rd. And then the whole crowd started cheering because I was waiting that entire movie just for that scene.
That was the stroke of genius, it's a great bit of programming as far as two great movies that go well together. But the fact that we actually got to play it on Mean Girls Day, that's the Mahoning stroke.
Oh my gosh, yes. I loved it. I was super pumped. That was probably so like my favorite of last season.
Oh, totally.
Bruce Campbell was awesome, and it was super huge, but just the success of the whatever weekend, it just made me so happy.
Well, it's always nice to kind of, spread the programming out. Obviously, a lot of people know us as, alternative horror, edgy, blah, blah, blah. But some of these kind of bubblegum weekends that are very accessible to families and things like that, those are the ones I look forward to most because, it's harder to bring a kid to some of the bigger annual events like your Zombie Fest or Camp Blood.
Yeah.
But, introducing them to some of these really essential movies on the Mahoning lot is pretty awesome to experience.
Yes, absolutely.
So when you were a kid, this is something that Mark has started asking everybody in these interviews. Do you have a specific place, or your family have a specific place where you like to park and watch the movies when you go to a drive-in or the Mahoning? I know now that you always park kind of in the same spot because you're working, but
Yeah. That's a good question. Wow, I feel like we're just like always in the middle. Like that's what we shot for. Like we didn't want to be in the very front row, but we didn't want to be all the way in the back. Like we always tended to go to the middle.
Totally.
But it's been so long.
Since you actually were able to enjoy it as a fan.
Yeah, and like since I even like went with my family.
I know, I feel that. When Nance did her interview with Mark, she didn't bring it up, but I think the last movie that we did before we got into the Mahoning was one of the Thor movies at Becky's.
Okay.
But you know, it's one of those things. I say, as far as the parking spaces on the lot, you know, if you're coming there with a significant other and want privacy, the back's probably the better move than in the front where it's like populated by all the families. But
absolutely, I agree with that.
I love it. So that kind of gets into, you know, what your fandom level is. Did you always consider yourself a movie fan, or now that you are part of the Mahoning family, it has just swept you up?
I feel like I've always loved movies. Like we definitely watched movies together as a family growing up. Like there's certain movies, like even as I got older, that like whether I was going through something or whatever and it struck a chord with me, like those movies I will love to rewatch. There's certain ones that I can just watch over and over again without getting sick of because of the way it made me feel. Yep. So I definitely, I don't know, I've always been a fan. I would say like the movies and books, like I can really get sucked into.
You know, everybody has their favorite movies. What for you is kind of your tops, your go-to, your easy comfort movie?
Well, my favorite Disney movie will always be the original Lion King. Nothing's gonna top that for me. Even though there are plenty amazing Disney movies, Lion King will always be my favorite.
It's incredible. I've seen it now that I have, you know, Virgil in my life. We watch it on a regular basis, and it is one of those movies that you can watch endlessly, and definitely hooked me as a kid.
Oh yeah.
The music, all that stuff. Used to go around singing, you know, I can't wait to be the king, all that stuff.
Oh, so. Yeah. No, I used to stand on my couch and on like the arms of my couch and roar like a lion. Like I was like, this is Pride Rock. Like my parents can definitely tell you some good stories because I was just like that invested in it.
I love it. I love it. Well, now, you know, what would you consider your favorite movie in adulthood?
Oh, there's so many good ones. Well, for Mark, I'll say Halloween.
Before you answer further, why don't you tell your story of the Halloween experience on the Mahoning lot?
So
why it means so much.
What year was that?
I think it was 2017.
2017. I finally watched the Halloween movie on the big screen, not even from beginning to end, but it was definitely like the last 40 minutes because I was like so invested. It was intense. I'm like covering my eyes, like screaming. And then the ending, he just disappears. Come on. Like, I'm so mad about it. But, oh my God, it was so intense. So then when the new one came out, I actually did see it with Mark and James in theater, and I was breathing like Darth Vader, like, you know, I think it's intense. I'm like terrified, and everyone else is like, really? Like, she's scared. And James brought his mask with him just to mess with me. So it was hilarious. But I mean, I really do like the movie, even though like I get fired up because how does he just magically always get away? But yeah, it was intense.
Well, we love watching horror movies with Jess because her reactions are priceless. She is literally one of those like yelpers. She will jump out of her chair and it's really fun to watch. The whole entire crew now has gotten a lot of pleasure out of it. So yeah. We were actually joking that one of the special features of this Patreon would be just Jess watching horror movies and reacting.
Yeah, you should have been filming the first time I watched Carrie at the drive-in with the freaking ending.
Oh, the jump scare at the end. That was magical. That was magical.
You got to witness that. Oh my goodness.
Well, that kind of steamrolls into other memories that you have at the Mahoning Drive-In Theater that you consider kind of significant, or things that really you hold true in your heart, things like that.
Oh, wow. I don't even know where to start with this question. Well, obviously, like, you know, I was there when, you know, we didn't know if we would be able to stay open. And then, like, you came in and really helped get that idea and ball rolling of doing all retro. And, like, now it's just really exploded and expanded. So just to see that success and that big turnaround, like, that's just something I think that will always be emotional to me and something I will always treasure, because I saw it at its worst possible spot, and to see where it is now is just, it really is amazing. And it does make me emotional if I think about it too long or talk about it for too long, because it's crazy. It's so crazy to see all the success that has happened over the years. I don't know. I guess, like, just how it all comes together. I mean, like, sometimes we can be so stressed out, but then, like, it usually ends up falling into place, like, even if we're afraid it won't. And we all come together as a team, and everything with James props to everyone on the lot, in the stand, just to make sure it runs smoothly. And then, like, just getting to talk to people, whether it's the staff and crew or customers. I always enjoy talking with the customers. We have some pretty awesome regular customers, and
Oh, yeah.
I love that they come, and, you know, I got to become friends with them. So that's awesome. My mom's working there now. Like,
that's right. It is a family, truly a family situation for you, because both your mom and your dad work for us at the Mahoning.
yes. So, like, that's really, I mean, I love my parents. So, like, some days, even though I get annoyed with them, like, I do enjoy working with them there.
Having them work.
Yeah. And then, like, I don't know, just getting close with everybody. Like, even with little Virgie, like, he's like a freaking adult now. Like, I'm gonna feel so old. Like,
I know. It is crazy because, you know, for those people who might not have seen the documentary, you know, Jess and I have become incredibly close, to the point where my kids call her Aunt Jess, and every single weekend we're together. And I can certainly agree that more than the specific memories of what's your favorite event, blah, 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 it is that camaraderie that we have with each other, with the fans, like you said. The amount of friends that we have been able to gain because of this venture is pretty insane. So obviously, let's talk about the documentary a little bit and what impact it had on you personally, what your kind of feelings are about the fact that kind of we are characters out there in the world for people to see. You got to experience it firsthand. You're a character in the documentary. So what was your experience with Al Manelli's documentary at the drive-in, available now?
Al is just amazing. He's super sweet. I think he's extremely talented. So it was awesome to work with him. I was like the last person he interviewed. I didn't think I was going to be interviewed at all. And then finally he reached out to me, and I was like, oh, yay. I was hoping that I would be able to be included. The documentary is wonderful. It's so well done. I think it just does an excellent job explaining the backstory and who we are and what, like, our goal is. So I loved that. It's actually been a little while since I watched it, so I'm gonna have to watch it again.
Yeah, it holds up. I mean, he definitely did an amazing job capturing, you know, what I say is our hearts on film, you know?
Absolutely. I think it's always crazy when people will come up to me and be like, hey, Jess, I saw you in the documentary. They come up to me and they're just like, oh, Jess, da-da-da-da-da. And I'm just like, oh my goodness, like, I'm a horrible person. I don't know who this is. And then they'll be like, oh, we watched the documentary. I feel like
everybody knows us now, yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, okay, great. Like, thank you so much for watching it. But sometimes it does, like, throw me off guard, especially, like, if I'm in the middle of doing something and then I just hear my name and I'm just like, wait, who needs me? Like, what needs to be done? So
it is surreal. We signed some autographs last year for sure.
Yes, that, like, signing the DVD and stuff, like, that's really cool to me.
Yeah.
So I love that. And I have an IMBD page. Come on.
How cool is that, right?
It is really cool.
Well, you got to see the festival circuit as well, which for me, those are some of my favorite memories, was kind of the whole crew getting together and seeing it on the big screen together. What was your experience there with seeing it with an audience?
I thought that was really exciting and different, but like at the same time nerve-wracking, especially when we had to go like up at the end and talk, because I was so afraid I was gonna like stumble over my words or just say something stupid. But it was really cool to attend that and like, you know, get to experience it with others who weren't involved in the documentary, to like hear what they laugh at and their reactions to certain scenes and stuff like that. I thought was really cool and nice to be a part of, because then you get to see their reactions and someone who's not necessarily involved with the drive-in.
Yeah, it plays like gangbusters. That for me, I think will always be my favorite experience, was watching people roll tears, watching people bust a gut. You know, it was like, wow, this is a true piece of art, which, you know, Al, again, amazing work. So why don't we shift a little bit from, you know, the madness that is the Mahoning that takes over our lives 7 months out of the year to what you do when you're not at the Mahoning. What does Jess do to keep herself busy? What's your job? What do you do for fun?
Currently, I work as a behavior specialist consultant and a mobile therapist. So I work with kiddos and their families that have behavioral issues or disabilities, and I work with them on their goals to, you know, increase positive behaviors and decrease the negative behaviors. So as I do enjoy it, but it can definitely be very trying some days and very exhausting.
Yeah.
I do enjoy it, and I can work with kiddos from like 4 years old to 18. So like it's a variety. Each kid and family is different. So like it is like, I like that. Like not everybody's the same. It's never going to be the same. So
Totally.
I enjoy doing that. I have fur babies. I love my kitties.
You are a kitty mama.
I am. Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to think of the things that like we do now. It's funny because everybody that we've been talking to is like, I can't even remember what I did for like normalcy fun before the whole pandemic hit. Because now it's literally like, you know, we're indoors, especially when the season isn't going on.
Yeah, I'll watch movies or different shows. I love to spend time with friends and family, but it's not like I've had much opportunity to do that. So, you know, but I do get to visit with my niece sometimes, and that's exciting.
That's
I
beautiful.
miss her. Yeah. I've been cooking more. Yeah.
That's great.
So
there are perks to this whole crazy having to be distanced from everybody, is, you know, if you really do want to kind of lock in a new talent or a new, you know, good trade, it's a good time to hyper focus on it.
Yes. Yeah, I've been, I got some new stuff for Christmas, like in pots and pans and all this stuff. So I've been making different recipes and cooking and
love it.
Using my air fryer. I got an air fryer recipe book, so I tried some good things in there with my mom. So that was exciting.
Oh, I can't wait to get back together. I'm gonna eat some of them cookies.
Yes. No, I made a delicious treat where it's like a Nutella-filled dessert. Amazing.
Come on.
I'll definitely have to bring them to the drive-in because they were delicious. Even Rob enjoyed it too.
That's awesome. Yeah, well, that is worth mentioning because I just listened to Rob's interview this morning with Mark. You and Rob are roommates.
We are.
That is amazing because when people come to the theater, they obviously have seen the documentary and they're asking about all the characters and things like that. So it always kind of is a special a hit to their heart when they're like, they live together. That's so awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. I want to put a camera in your house and just catch the dynamic of the two of you guys together. Oh, I love it.
Oh my goodness.
So we are about to jump into the 2021 season. You have some inside dirt as far as things we're planning to do, some events and people we're planning to work with. What are your thoughts on the upcoming season?
I think that it's going to be busy. I think it's going to be exciting. I think a lot of our fans are going to be very excited and happy with our events and special guests. And I'm really looking forward to the new season. Some sort of normalcy, so
Yeah, it'll be good to get
it's
everybody
gonna be
back
good.
together again and get this train kind of moving down the tracks again. It is such a strange dynamic because we go from this insanely social life of, everybody and their mom and their friends wanting to come to the theater and blah, 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 to literally nothing. So it's been great talking to you, Jess. It's been a pleasure, and always is a pleasure having you in our lives. Till the next time when I see you at the theater and the 2021 season kicks off.
Yes, I'm so excited. Oh yeah, early opening too. That's more exciting.
That's right. We just announced that we are going to be opening at the beginning of April instead of the end of April. So it is going to be an extended season and a great one for sure. So Virgie, why don't you say to everybody, have a good day. Can you say bye-bye, everybody?
Bye-bye, everybody.
All right. Cheers, everybody. Bye-bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, thanks again for coming out tonight to the Mahoning Drive-In Theater. We hope you'll come back and see us again real soon. The exit is on the right-hand side of the screen at the front of the field. And most importantly, have a very safe trip home. Good night and God bless you.